Sergeant Cody McCracken, United States Marine Corps. Thank you for that introduction. I've had the pleasure of serving with Sergeant McCracken twice now in my career. First in 29 Palms, California at 1st Tank Battalion. He was a driver, fresh out of tank school, and I was a wet behind the ears second lieutenant. We deployed together to Afghanistan, and we shared our first combat experience together. So I'm honored to be here, and I thank you for the invitation. And by the way, he now works for me out at Yakima, Washington. Today, Veterans Day, we observe not on the day of a great battle or the beginning of a war, but on a day when the greatest war in mankind's history to that day ended, on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month in 1918. Today we acknowledge the debt that we owe all who have worn the uniform in service to our nation. Our veterans have paid the cost of America's peace through war, and today every veteran is reminded that the nation and the people on whose behalf they have served are forever grateful. Gatherings like this here today on the campus of Washington State University are very important. They're important because they ensure that we never take for granted the lives that have been given up to secure our freedom and peace. This day honors our men and women who gave up the lives they could have lived in and chosen instead a life of service. This day commemorates those who gave their lives permanently in places like Belleau Wood, places like Normandy, places like Iwo Jima, Okinawa, the Chosin Reservoir, the rice paddies of Vietnam, and the sandy deserts of Iraq and Afghanistan. These veterans are a reminder that our nation will bear any burden and pay any cost to ensure the preservation of liberty. Veterans Day is important for another reason, in that the world is watching, and most importantly, our enemies are watching. They're watching because they know that the way we treat our veterans is a direct reflection on our character, our unity, and our strength as a nation. Therefore, when those who seek to destroy freedom and spread tyranny from within or without look upon America on their Veterans Day, they see a nation which holds its warriors in high regard and cherishes their sacrifice, which is and always will be the currency used to secure the peace and prosperity they enjoy. This serves as notice to those who would do us harm, that America will not allow her peace and freedom to be trampled by surrendering to the voices of appeasement and fear, but will fight with complete dedication and conviction for that which has been paid for with the highest price. Veterans Day gives us a lesson in sacrifice. To the veteran and their family, this is a lesson that they understand all too well. Through missed birthdays, anniversaries, which will never come again, births of their children and their graduations that they miss, lost relationships and friends, the heartache of returning home and your youngest child not knowing who you are, the lost years you never regain with your family, and the friends who never make it home, and the ones that do who are never the same. Veterans Day gives us, and they give those families, an opportunity to pause and reaffirm their sacrifice as a source of pride, a badge of honor that the veteran and their family wear upon their hearts. They bear this with pride because they understand that they are a part of something much larger and noble than themselves, and that their sacrifices are neither lost nor forgotten. Nothing sums up the total sacrifice of a veteran's family than the letter penned by President Abraham Lincoln to a Miss Bixby who lost 5 sons in combat during the Civil War. And I quote, "Dear Madam, I have been shown in the files that you are the mother of 5 sons who have died gloriously on the field of battle. I feel how weak and fruitless must be any words of mine which should attempt to beguile you from the grief of a loss so overwhelming. But I cannot refrain from tendering to you the consolation that may be found in the thanks of the Republic they died to save. I pray that our Heavenly Father may assuage the anguish of your bereavement and leave you only the cherished memory of the loved and lost, and the solemn pride that must be yours to have laid so costly a sacrifice upon the altar of freedom. To all the veterans and their families, like Miss Bixby, they understand that their sacrifice is a part of the debt that must be paid to live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. They know and understand in a unique way, all families of veterans do, the price of freedom is sometimes very high, but its fruits are priceless. So, throughout America's long and illustrious martial history, our warriors past and present hold dear to military customs and traditions. These are not empty ceremonies or hollow words. They are the transfer of a legacy and the eternal spirit of those who have gone on before. From the cold and starvation of Valley Forge to the austere and far-reaching war on terror, we who currently serve stand on these veterans' broad shoulders. These giants whose courage and unfailing valor loom large in our minds and challenge us to live up to their example. So when we receive thanks for our service from a grateful nation, whether we are at the park with our family, whether we are at a football game, or if we're just walking down the street, we do so not on behalf of ourselves, but on behalf of those veterans who paid for that gratitude with their unrealized dreams, with their lost youth, and with their blood. So to all veterans who have served, I am proud and honored to stand on your shoulders today in service to our nation. And on this solemn day of remembrance, it is paramount that we reflect upon and honor the dead and the living, who in every conflict since 1775 have given testimony to their dedication to this great nation through their total sacrifice and courage. Thank you.